Welcome to GLS Carriers Presents Team Talk. I'm Ken Cox, and I have a new hat. Today we have Francis Ham.
Hi.
Kenny Kuntz.
Howdy.
Behind the scenes we have Danny.
Hello.
Today we will be talking about Kenny's journey in becoming truck driver, owner, operator, or operations manager.
Let's see if I can remember that far back.
Horse and buggy days.
Yeah.
We'll also be going over swag. So you can see up here we've got some hats available. If you guys want hats, we can get you hooked up. Safety at glscarriers.com. We also have t-shirts ordered, some other items. So get me your shirt sizes, send them into safety at glscarriers.com, and we will put all that stuff together. We have more hats on order. It might take us a few weeks to get all that stuff put together. I'll have a list put together, and we'll get that stuff out to you. Also, we got the job fair coming up.
We do. So we finalized a location. We're going to be in Joplin at the Residence Inn. So that will kick off at 7 o'clock a.m. on the 12th, and we'll go till about 5 o'clock p.m. And then on the 13th, we'll start at 7 o'clock again in the morning and run till about 1 o'clock. And then after that, we'll just have to shut down because we'll have to get to Tulsa to catch our flights to get back home. But definitely looking forward to it. If we can get the word out, I'd definitely like to meet some people at the event. And if you're in the area, feel free to stop in.
Absolutely. And that's April. That's
April.
Would you guys be willing to give away something special to somebody who mentions that they saw the podcast? I think that'd be kind of cool if we...
Oh, yeah, show up at the job fair and be like, hey, I saw you guys. Team Talk is, number one in my book. I subscribed 17 times.
Absolutely. We can do something there for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
that would be exciting.
Be nice if there was a big enough turnout that you missed your flight back.
Yeah, that's right. That's
right. Kenny, let's dive into all that is Kenny.
Hey, just real quick, did we have any birthdays this fiscal?
Man, I would have lost money on that.
Yeah,
Yes, we do. Dan W., happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday, Dan.
Appreciate all you do for us. Keep going out there. Keep running strong. You and Cassie are doing a fantastic job. Appreciate what you're doing.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Thanks for saving my bacon. All right, Kenny.
When we're talking drivers for drivers, sometimes it's easier to listen to another guy's story and how he went and got to where I'm at, let's say. We've kind of breezed through our careers and stuff. We were married young in '89. I was running farm trucks and stuff. And to tell you how much of the industry I've been in, I went from that to Las Vegas, working for lumper services, and
well, you got to tell me what a lumper service. You got to tell me what a lumper service is. That sounds like you're a gang guy that beats people up for not paying their dues.
We got our clothes.
our family owns a trucking company, and we did I don't remember if you guys remember Fleming Foods. We'd haul stuff out of LA up to Vegas, and my job was to lump, which is unload trucks, break it down to what Fleming's wanted, load their trailers, and then they would go back up to, so a grunt.
So you were breaking down pallets and palletizing them?
Yeah, with all the different ties and highs. And
What kind of product was that?
oh, everything. We did laundry, soap, and beans, and you name it,
So, Kenny, did you get to play with large wood and small wood and blue chip pallets and all those customer requirements?
Oh, yeah. Everything the same. Any damage, I got good at turning damage around back in the day. But then I actually came back up to Idaho, and I was a safety director.
I'm sorry.
Yes. And I did that for several years, and seeing the trucks coming in and out of the yard and talking with the drivers. You know, I had that fever to go long haul trucking, you know. I gave Danny some pictures of some old trucks I used to drive. He can put them on there just to show you how long I've been doing this. And I run over the road for, you know, a lot of years, coast to coast. And as a truck driver, I always wanted to own my own truck.
Sure.
You know, and I think a lot of drivers feel that way. They're driving out there for other companies right now, even. Our sister company actually sold me on this owner-operator deal they had going. This was back in the early 2000s, you know. And I thought, well,
Half of our drivers just graduated in 2000.
yeah. So, and that's how I got started as an owner-operator, you know, and then I just saved my money and eventually opened up my own trucking company, you know. We weren't big or anything. I think we had 14 trucks at one time. And I have some pictures of that Danny can put on there. And I just grew my business that way.
What would you say would be the hardest thing about getting to 14 trucks?
Drivers.
Sure.
Hence why we're doing this. You know, without the drivers, no trucking company's going to make it.
Right.
You know, one thing about it is this company has always backed its drivers. You know, even when I got my own authority and was doing my own thing, they were there every step of the way with advice, with, you know, things I could do better. They just stuck with me the whole time, you know.
You had some good mentors throughout that?
Yeah, this company has been great, you know, and they do it for a lot of drivers, not just me.
Right.
You know, and eventually GLS over here, I brought some trucks over here, and I was driving over the road too, and my health started where I couldn't really be on the road all the time, you know. And a lot of companies may have just said, well, you know, it's been nice working with you, and this company's all, well, let us find you something in here to do, you know, and brought me in the office. A lot of companies ain't that way, you know. Now we're going on a 15-some year relationship, you know, between me and GLS carriers and all of our sister companies, and just goes to show you that, I guess the moral of the story is if you want to succeed and you want a company backing you, this is the company to be at. You know, my story is just one of many stories here of other drivers that have come in and done the same thing, and they've expanded and got their own authorities and had their own drivers, you know. And one thing this company does is it wants you to succeed, whether it's under their authority or under your own authority. They just want to see success, you know. And that's a really good thing to have in this industry. And so any drivers out there that is wanting their dreams met or something, this is the place to go, you know.
You bet. And I bet it's exciting for you too, Kenny, because, I mean, your career path has taken you, you know, from a warehouse situation into a truck and then your own trucking company and everything. And now here you are, you're the operations manager here, and you do a fantastic job. But I'm sure in your conversations with some of our guys right now, it's like turning a pages back a couple of times, you know, and looking back in your own career and when you were at that point. And it has to be rewarding, too, to be able to talk to them and help them get ahead of the issues that they're with.
Oh, it's kind of fulfilling, too, you know. There isn't too many circumstances out there that I haven't incurred, you know, over my career. And so when they get into a situation where they need some advice, you know, I'm here to help them.
You ever been stuck in snow?
A matter of fact, I have, and I got pictures of that too. I'll have Danny put them on there. Lyman, Colorado. It snowed so bad that the truck drivers couldn't get out of their trucks. They had to roll their windows down and climb out the windows. It snowed between the trucks and between their cab and reefer units. It was packed with snow, and it was like a war zone. They sold every snow shovel in Lyman, Colorado, probably Denver too during that storm, but it took, I bet, 4 or 5 days of digging out. Couldn't get tow trucks in there to pull them. There's too much snow, couldn't pull them out of the snow. They had to dig their way out of the snow.
So had they just parked for the night, and then
Yeah, all
was
the
just a-
all the freeways had shut down, and everyone piled into the J's and on the on ramps and stuff. And if you ever been to Lyman, Colorado, it kind of sits in a hole, so all the wind coming across the mountain, it just buried that truck stop.
Do you have enough supplies with you, or were you sitting there going into the truck stop like, I'll take this can of tuna? Because I'm sure after 5 days there's not a lot of stuff stuck on the shelves.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always done when I was driving is stocked my truck with dry goods and stuff to be able to eat out there. But
Yeah, and you're right. When you're out on I-70 and 287 out in that area, there's not much out there.
no.
What was your favorite run that you've done that you can think of?
Back in the late 90s, we used to run back and forth up to Seattle and down to Vegas. It's just back and forth, and that was a really good run.
What were you hauling at that time?
We'd haul groceries down for U.S. Foods in Las Vegas, and then we'd take stuff up to Seattle, mixed groceries and stuff like that.
Not counting your Lyman experience, what would be your worst experience on the road?
Oh my goodness.
You ever lose a trailer going down the road?
No, I've never done that. Can't say as I've done that. My worst experience. I don't know if I can say this on the air or not, but we'll give it a shot. We can edit, Danny, right?
Yeah, I'll put something else in there. Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep.
I was down on Alameda Street in L.A. once, and we were going to the produce market down there, and I couldn't get in, but I figured I'd get my trailer washed out. There used to be a trailer washout just a couple miles from the produce market, and I pulled through the trailer washout and was trying to get on the street, and this gal jumped on the side of my truck trying to sell me some movies or something. And I'm trying to get out on the street, and I couldn't get her off my truck. So every time there was an opening, she wouldn't get off my truck so I could go. That was quite the experience.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's when we installed electric the button where you push it and it shoots electricity through the body of the truck to knock things off, right? It's like a bug zapper.
Eventually, I had to open my door and push her off at the same time I was trying to get out on the street.
That puts a new meaning to Truckers Against Trafficking illegal DVDs.
Is that a thing?
TAT, yep, Truckers Against Trafficking. It's much more prevalent now today than it was probably, I would assume that was early, late 90s.
Yeah.
And it was DVDs that they were trafficking, or
Well,
it was people and everything, right?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
more so today. It's more human trafficking and whatnot. And so we attend seminars. We work with our local law enforcement agencies and things like that to help combat those situations.
Yep.
And so it's amazing to see how things progress and things that are put into play so we can help combat that kind of thing.
Yep.
Well, Kenny, if you would have just purchased one of those DVDs, then she would have been on her way. You could have just said, "Hey, I'll take that
I don't think she had a movie I wanted to see.
Oh, they were like, what's that? Any Kurt Russell movies or anything like that? Okay.
What's wrong with Kurt Russell?
No, that's what I'm saying. If
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the Little China, the one in Little China where he
Big Trouble in Little
Big
China.
Trouble in Little China. You could have had that.
Such a goofy movie.
That's kind of my story here. I hope maybe someone out there where we're really hammering on recruiting, that, maybe my story will maybe want someone else in here to have the same story.
And that ties in the Drivers for Drivers that
Drivers
we
for
push.
Drivers.
Absolutely.
Everybody, I think, once they find a career that they're doing, there comes a point in your life where you have to think about, truck driving is hard on your body.
Sure it is.
And, doing any job for 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, whatever it is going to be tough. It's kind of cool to see, that there's something you can work towards in truck driving. And that's kind of going, when you get to a point where your body isn't able to handle what your current load, it's cool to see how our company is helping get those people in mentor positions or getting them into places where they can help get the next generation of truck drivers the tools they need. Anyway, that was a really cool. I really enjoyed that.
Strong leadership, strong mentorship, lots of experiences. It helps bring you to this point where Kenny's at, and he's got a lot of knowledge. I've learned a lot from Kenny, and I appreciate that, and thank you.
Yeah. Yep. And likewise, I've learned a lot from Kenny as well.
And me too.
What advice would you give a new up-and-comer? Comes in today, wants to be a company driver, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years down the road, wants to have, a few trucks under his belt and whatnot. What would you tell that new?
Perseverance, save your money. A lot of guys will come in and they'll be making really good money, and what happens is it's always been the motto, you make what you spend. If drivers put that money back, and save, they will succeed. You gotta have perseverance in whatever you do. You put your mind to something and you do it. It's not the driving the biggest, nicest pickup truck, especially nowadays. What are they, 105 grand?
They are not
Yeah,
cheap.
they're so expensive.
It's what's important to you, work-life balance, time with your family, time with now my grandchildren. It's when I was trucking, there was a lot of things I missed as a truck driver, kids' ball games and stuff like that, that if there was something I could change, that probably would have been one. I could be home more. Mm-hmm. And so you set your goals and you do what you need to do, persevere, and you'll achieve them. This company will back that goal as well,
Absolutely.
Kenny, I want to thank you for sharing that with us.
Hey, no problem.
Appreciate that. Next week we have Easter.
We do.
As you guys are going down the road, there's going to be lots of families, lots of cars and traffic and whatnot on the road. Be mindful of that. Please be safe. Keep your eyes open. Next week we'll talk about Francis and his journey.
You bet. You bet. Absolutely. I do want to throw something out there. Each week I'm trying to talk about a different safety topic or something. And listening to Kenny talk about snow and stuff, I know hopefully we're pretty much out of it for this year. But one thing that sticks in my mind is, today we're not using incandescent type light bulbs and stuff. We're gone to LEDs. And LEDs just don't transmit the heat that the other bulbs did. So whenever you are running in snow and ice and whatnot, you'll get a buildup, on the back of your trailer or whatever. Those tail lights will not melt off. So we need to get out and clean our lights and stuff off and get all that stuff off so other people can see our tail lights. Just so one thing just to throw out there.
Absolutely. I remember going down the road and I heard you talking about this a little bit earlier, your whole truck would be just covered with dirt and snow and grime, but your windows and your lights would be clean.
Even in the rain, you know, it wouldn't even have to be snow. You get down there, Arizona, New Mexico, and it rains. Well, that dirt is all over the road. So next thing you know, your whole truck's just covered in it. You know, you got your Windex and some paper towels cleaning all your lights. Stand back and look, and your truck's just filthy. But you got some clean lights. You know? They used to make fun of me when I first started trucking and doing 10-wheelers and haulage and stuff. And there were certain times a year we had to haul manure, you know, and I've always been kind of a clean freak, and they'd dump that manure in the back of our spreader beds, and it splashed onto my hood. So when I was loaded, I'd just pull off the side, open my hood, and I'd Windex my hood before I go spread in the field. You know?
Sounds a little crappy.
It was, but I had a clean hood looking out my windshield.
You have anything else,
No, I'm
Kenny?
Thanks.
No,
Well, excuse
we can
me.
edit that, right, Kenny?
We better, because
Yeah.
that hack.
Oh my goodness. As we end this episode, we want to thank you for being safe and making the right choices. Remember, you're the eyes and ears on the road, and if you see something, say something. We succeed when you complete your trip and you're home safely with your loved ones.
Thanks.
Thanks.